Hello to whoever is watching and welcome back to Talking Comics. In this video I will be talking about Marvel Zombies. I will give you the basic story of the comic while also not going into any kind of big or major spoilers. Just want to say that I'm only going to be talking about Robert Kirkman's Marvel Zombies. I'm not planning to talk about anything that takes place after that, or like spin-off stuff in that universe. The story of Marvel Zombies takes place in an alternative universe with a massive portal being open leading to a zombie virus to affect New York and its heroes. The unique thing about this virus is that the heroes are aware of the situation. Most of them don't want to hurt innocent people, but there is this driving hunger to a point it's hurting them and they can no longer handle that pain and at a point have to eat human flesh. The story focuses both on the infected characters and the unaffected, with the unaffected characters trying to figure out some way to cure the virus and help their friends. All this leading to some very gory, violent moments and moments of morbidity as the infected heroes must deal with what they've done to their fellow heroes and friends. Marvel Zombies is quite morbid, and I'm probably going to be saying that a lot in this video. The way the story changes the idea of the zombie infection into something the infected are aware of is horrifyingly a great idea, as it explains how the heroes can still use their powers even though they're infected, while also adding a more horror element as the infected must deal with their own guilt on the people they have killed for their hunger. The biggest problem with Marvel Zombies as a comic is that its morbidity and tone doesn't exactly leave a great feeling. What does work as a horror comic, but it's definitely not exactly a fun read at times. There's also problems of certain characters feeling very out of character, one of those characters very much being Reed Richards. And if you've heard anything about this comic, with it dealing with Reed, aka Mr. Fantastic, it's just very not like himself, and he's just very different from his 616 counterpart. I do still overall enjoy the story of Marvel Zombies, and it does do a really good job at keeping a tense tone while still being very interesting and not the same repetitive thing a lot of the times. The art in the book also works really well. The designs for the zombie versions are pretty simple, with them all kind of just having their teeth being more prominent, but really works for the designs. Another kind of gripe I have with the comic is that at times it feels like it's trying too hard to be mature and edgy. To a point it's a bit too much. It feels very just overly edgy for no reason. It's definitely not as bad as some stories that do similar stuff, but I feel like you can definitely get that vibe from the comic. Overall, the comic does deliver what it's saying it's going to be, and that is Marvel Zombies. It's violent and at times morbid while also still having an interesting story. Even with its problems, I would still suggest checking it out if you've heard about it and are interested, or just like superheroes and horror stuff. But it definitely isn't a perfect story by any means. I think the best thing that comes from this story is the idea that the infected are aware of the situation they're in. It adds a lot more to the story while also allowing zombie versions of characters to keep their personalities. And at the end of the day, that's what you're wanting to kind of see, because just a mindless zombie version of, say, Spider-Man isn't that interesting, because it's just a zombie then. They might use their powers, but at the end of the day, that wouldn't make sense, and it would just be a zombie in a Spider-Man costume. Making it that they're aware of the situation they're in adds a lot more to it, and makes it that the zombies actually act differently, mattering what character it is. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you liked this video, you can like it or even dislike it, do what you want. I have more superhero comic book stuff on my channel if you're interested. And yeah, feel free to comment your thoughts on the comic. But yeah, that's all, and goodbye.